after a race in which absolutely nothing happened at Martinsville Speedway, we moved to an action-packed track at Nashville Superspeedway. 1.33 miles of absolutely fantastic action for these 40 drivers who are looking to have a good run that may make or break their championship hopes 7 races into the season. It's finally time. We've arrived to the Nashville Music City 500. It's all part of the DPORL Cup Series 2024. Hello everybody, this is Drew Webb, or that DP guy, and welcome to the 7th race of the DPORL Cup Series season in 2024. Of course, our inaugural season just chugging along. We're here at Nashville Superspeedway for the Nashville Music City 500. Gonna be another one of those great intermediate races. You know, we've had some really good intermediate races in the exhibitions. We've had some great intermediate races in the regular season. You know, we'll just have to see how this shakes out today because we're going to have a pretty quick race, although these drivers will have to make a pit stop, but we'll go ahead and get to that later. What we need to get to right now is the starting lineup. Of course, the whole starting lineup will scroll on the left-hand side of your screen to pick out where you're starting, but we're going to go through the top 10 starters for this race. On pole, it's Igor Barreto, who has not had very many good starting positions, but look at that. The 13 car starting up front in great position to have a good run today. So that's very nice for that 13 machine. To his outside, this is Lucien Bianchi, one of our championship contenders, looking to stay alive in that battle, stay close. Of course, we're still relatively early on in the season, so you can make up points, but you want to start getting close to that championship points lead right now. In row number 2, we have the 12 of Zach Magoon, who has kind of had some good runs, kind of had some bad runs, but you know, getting better and better, and a third place starting spot is very solid. And Justin Henley, who is also one of those drivers who's been getting better every single event. In row number 3, Nick Kensington in the 43, who's climbing up the point standings, but we'll see if that holds today. And Dylan Matthews, who started out really slow this year, but now up to pace for sure. Bradley Ream in the 6 machine, so many heartbreaks, and Ludovic Charette, finally a good starting spot for the 11. And in row number 5, Bryce Egan, who showed flashes of greatness, and Caleb Rose in the number 8. All right, after all of that, we're going to go ahead and go down and get the command of fire engines at Nashville.
Drivers, start your engines!
And there we go. Everybody firing their engines. Igor Barreto gonna lead them off pit road. Well, of course, the pace car leads them all off pit road. Let's make sure everyone is fired, and it looks like that is the case. All right, let's go ahead and get to your race info. 60 laps. 80 miles, track length 1.33 miles, just a little bit shorter than those intermediates that we've been going to. Fuel window 32 to 36 laps, could be longer, could be shorter, don't really know. And then of course your pit strategy, you'll want 4 tires and fuel when you get into that fuel window. And as we come into turn 3, we're setting ourselves up for a great race at Nashville. It's sunny, the skies are clear, we're gonna get all 60 laps in, and I'm so ready to bring it to you. All right, off of turn number 4, the pace car gonna make the turn onto pit road, and it's going to be Igor Barreto in the 13 that's gonna be leading the field to green at Nashville Superspeedway. And off of turn 4, it is 2 cars that have broken away. It's Igor Barreto in the lead and Lucien Bianchi in the 17 right behind. And that 17 really closing in as they go 3 wide in the pack behind, but looks like they've sorted that out relatively well. So Justin Henley is going to get 3rd position. Looks like Kensington, Magoon, and Matthews are going to go 3 wide. Looks like Matthews is going to get the worst of that. Got quite the battle mid-pack. Looks like Caleb Rose making moves. You can see Nick Kensington trying to move through the field. Caleb Rose wanted to peek 3 wide there, but didn't quite get there. Looks like the outside line is a very viable line. We're going to have some racing at this multi-groove track as the inside is able to hang on as well. Back up front, just making sure we don't miss a pass for the lead. Lucien Bianchi all over Barreto. Let's see what the 17 can do to get by the 13. Here we go into turn 1. Moving for the lead on lap 460. But look at that. Barreto got a great entry. And that's going to hurt the 17 on the exit. Wow. So Barreto was able to just send it into the corner while Bianchi didn't have a great angle. So Igor Barreto continues to lead as Justin Henley has closed on this front 2 group. Look at this. We got a battle here for 6th position, I believe. Is it 6th position? Sorry, 5th position. Bradley Ream to the inside of the 12, Zach Magoon, but the 12 able to hang on the outside. So Magoon will remain in the 5th position. Nick Kensington, you see him in the 4th position, trying to close on the lead 3. And we have single filed out for sure. But back here, Tom Sloan trying to make a move on Laura Chung for what I believe is the 11th position. But actually, Sloan had to check up, and now Ormond is to the outside of Tom Sloan. We're getting a move to the outside, and Ormond will clear. So it looks like the outside is going to be the place to be if you want to make these passes. So that's very interesting. At least early on in the run, you want to take that outside line. Now let's see if the dominant line shifts to the inside later in the run. It looks like 3 and 4 actually. The inside is definitely a viable line. But these cars are getting a little bit squirrely on the apron and having to check up just a bit. But then you can see there into turn 1, Justin Perez got a great corner entry, and that's going to carry all the way through the exit. Justin Perez gets that position. Back up front, it looks like we're tightening once again. Just over 1/10 of a second between the top 2 on lap 8 of 60. Now up to 1.5 tenths. Let's see what Bianchi can do. Entered a little bit higher than Barreto that time, but Barreto was actually able to have the better corner, which was very interesting. Let's see what happens in 3 and 4. They enter about the same, really. Who gets the better exit? It looks like Bianchi's going to get a slightly better exit than Barreto. So these 2 cars are set up definitely for different ends of the racetrack. You know, both sets of corners might look similar, but actually they handle quite differently. So that's something to watch, especially later into the run. Which set of corners matters more, but it looks like Bianchi got a great corner that time by, and enters a little bit higher than Barreto in 3 and 4. Let's see if that pays off on the exit. It absolutely pays off. Here's Bianchi now right on the bumper of Barreto. Will Bianchi look low again? Yep, that's exactly what'll happen. Looks like we're going to be pretty even, but Barreto is barely going to get that run off the corner. It's going to work out for the 13. But look at this, Justin Henley and Nick Kensington definitely closing in. It's going to be a 4-car battle, as back here for 5th position, Bradley Ream is all over Zach Magoon. So these 2 are going to go back and forth as Bryce Egan wants to get in on the action, but 4 cars for sure have broken away. So we'll go ahead and watch that battle as Barreto pulls away just a bit, but watch out for Nick Kensington in the 43. It looks like Kensington probably has the fastest car of this group, but needs to pass all three in front. So if Nick Kensington ever gets to the front of the field, I'd watch out. That 43 could be gone. As Barretto starts to pull away just a bit, you can see the gap now over 2 seconds between the 4th and 5th place cars. And look at that. You saw off the corner, Lucien Bianchi was able to get a better exit off the corner, was able to get in the gas a little bit earlier, and that allowed for a run all the way down the backstretch. And that's what's going to be crucial. You have to get the run off the corner in order to make a move. And look at that. Just as I say that, Nick Kensington sure got the run off the corner. And those two are going to be side by side for 3rd position. Let's see if Kensington can hang on the inside. Looks like it. Potentially. Off the corner, it looks like Henley got a slight run. So, not quite able to get there. As Bianchi closes in once again on Barretto. It's just going to go back and forth. And they're going to get side by side again eventually. And I'd say probably Barretto's going to have the advantage unless the inside line gets working in 1 and 2 a little bit better. But there you can see it again. The 17 was just able to get into the gas a little bit earlier than the 13. And that carries all the way down the backstretch. Absolutely crucial. Now, if the 17 isn't able to make the move, actually, never mind, because the 17 is making the move right now for the lead. Into turn 1. Let's see what happens this time. Wow, got a lot further alongside than other vehicles, but Barretto was able to get a great run off the corner. How about that? So Igor Barretto holding strong. So after all that, it's all going to stay the same. Let's check back further in the field. Magoon has pulled away for 5th. Bryce Egan to 6th. Bradley Reams 7th. Dylan Matthews. Well, hold on. Am I skewed? Hold on. Give me a second. Yeah, I must have skipped a number. I can count real well. Yeah, Magoon 5th. Egan 6th. Reams 7th. Caleb Rose 8th. Dylan Matthews 9th. And Ludovic Charette 10th. That's your top 10 right now. Let's find a battle. You know what? Let's see. Leonard Koksmar in the 10 machine to the inside of Matthew Hubert. Let's see if that move pays off. Well, it's definitely going to work for now. Those two are going to be side by side, but Hubert's getting the run off down the front stretch. And that's probably going to allow the 36 to go right by. And yes, you can see Jonathan Carrison even going right by the 10. Further back, you can see Alex Smith, Nathan Stapleton. Looks like Smith got a good run off the corner. And you can see Daniel Voiles on the outside of Samad Ozkin. Let's see what Voiles can do. Looks like the 40 actually lost some time on Ozkin as the 27 washed way up the track and almost got into the wall. Wow. And watch out later in the run for these cars starting to wash up the track and having to maybe check up. Not able to complete the corner properly. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it looks like the 27 will be just fine down the backstretch. But that was a close call. That was a very, very close call. And they're going to continue to go side by side, actually, as Stapleton sent it in there. But it's going to work out for Alex Smith in the 27. You can see further back the many battles going on at the back of the pack. You can see at the very back, RJ Beers has just not been able to get anything going. Now 15.8 seconds off the lead. Gonna be able to get by Durrani here, it looks like, but yeah, just not a good day for the 19. Let's check back in on the lead. You can see it still. The top 4 are really your dominant cars right now. Now, of course, that could change. Someone could join that mix, especially after the pit cycle. But for now, the 13, 17, 43, and 52 are the 4 to watch out for. Although, I guess I just realized this, Nick Kensington did make the move on Justin Henley and is now in 3rd position. So, looks like the 43 has been able to make a pass. That's pretty big here. Of course, we're seeing a lot more passing and a lot more interesting racing than last week at Martinsville, where absolutely nothing happened. And of course, Reggie Fogelman getting his first career win. That was a nice storyline, but I mean, nothing at all happened that race. As here comes Kensington on the top two, just getting closer and closer each time by. Let's see the gap this time. Yep, chopped off 5/100ths. And even Bianchi's starting to feel the pressure, closing in on Barretto just a bit. They were almost even off the corner that time in terms of getting on the gas. But Kensington was a little bit earlier than both. This is really going to close in for the lead now. Wow, Kensington right on the bumper of Bianchi, and Bianchi almost on the bumper of Barretto. Here we go, Kensington to the inside for second position. Can Kensington make it stick? You know what? Yes, Kensington does make it stick and is going to get by the 17 for the moment, but the 17 will fight back on the high side. Let's see, can Kensington send it in there? It's going to still be side by side, I believe. Yep, look at that. The 17 got a good run, going to barely stay side by side with the 43. Into turn number 1. Can the 17 stay side by side? Going to be very close off the corner. They're still going to battle. Wow. Bianchi just not giving the position up, and Kensington really having to work for it. You know what? This battling has allowed Igor Barretto to pull away in the 13. So Kensington, if he does get by, has a long road ahead to try and catch the 13, as they still just continue to battle side by side. And this time Bianchi got a much better run off the corner, basically wiping away all the progress that the 43 made. Kensington still dives in deep, but it looks like the 17 is going to come out on top here in the battle for second position. So Lucien Bianchi maintains second, but now has to try and run down the 13 car once again. Now that gap at 1.43 seconds. Let's see what Bianchi can do. Wow. Working our way back up through the field again, looking for more battles as the battle at the front has calmed down a little bit. Here we go, Laura Chung, Tom Sloan. Looks like CJ Grider on the outside in that battle. You can see Justin Perez there. These two are going to go side by side. At the line, it's going to be Tom Sloan, who got the 12th position there. And it looks like Sloan gonna send it into turn 1 and gets the position for sure, leaving absolutely no doubt. And now CJ Grider is to the outside of Laura Chung. Further up, it looks like Bryce Egan and Bradley Ream did a little bit of battling. Looks like Ream was able to get ahead in that whole battle. Back up towards the front though, looks like Bianchi is closing in on Barretto again. So I don't think Igor Barretto is the fastest car today, but he's done a fantastic job of blocking and running the exact lines that he needs to run in order to maintain that lead while they battle behind. I'd watch out for Bradley Ream though, who's just kind of lurking back there. I think he's closing just a little bit. Yeah, there we go, big time. Gained a quarter of a second that lap. Yeah, watch out for Bradley Ream and maybe even Bryce Egan to join this battle later into the race, especially if they have a good pit stop. And speaking of pit stops, what I've done for this race is I've widened the strategy ratings a little bit, okay? So I originally had them 60 to 80. Now I have the range at 40 to 100. So we might get a little bit more variety in pit strategy depending on what these teams decide to do. And wow, Igor Barretto has absolutely fallen off a cliff in terms of pace, because Lucien Bianchi is absolutely flying towards the 13, and Nick Kensington as well is joining this battle. There we go. Kensington in on lap 30 of 60, coming to 31, splitting it exactly halfway with Justin Henley. Let's see who else is coming in this time. Looks like Brandon Rose, Logan Williams, Jonathan Carrison. All these guys are going to split it halfway. So very interesting strategy there. Got to fill it full if they're going to split it halfway. Don't want to take any chances with running out of fuel. Let's check for the leaders this time on lap 31 of 60. There we go. Igor Barreto and Lucian Bianchi in. Same with Bradley Ream and Bryce Egan. So these four will have one lap fresher tires when it all shakes out, but they lose time initially. Let's see if Barreto can get a clean entry. Bianchi had to check up a bit. As Barreto comes in, oh man, they are stacking up down the pit lane. It's getting wild. But right here, top two are in. Let's see, probably going with 4 tires like everybody else. Yep, 4 tires for the top 2 drivers that came in. We're going to have to watch where the 43 of Nick Kensington and the 52 of Justin Henley cycle in all this, as the top 2 have very clean pit stops and they get out nicely. All right. So off the pit lane, there is Kensington. And Nick Kensington will take the race lead away from Igor Barreto. Wow. That means Justin Henley must have had a not so ideal stop. He fell off to Bradley Ream. And so, the 13, who had been in the lead all race, is now going to have to hunt down Nick Kensington in the 43. I think we're going to have a very, very good battle brewing on our hands between the 43, 13, and 17. But as we saw, the 17 showed a lot of pace chasing down the top 2. So we'll see if maybe Kensington even pulls away a bit. Now, I can't guarantee anything, but let's see as these tires start to warm up. Let's watch these gaps. All right, so coming to the line here, the gap widened pretty significantly that time by. So watch out here, because Nick Kensington could have another first-time winner on the channel. Still got a lot of racing to go, potential for a caution for sure, and you definitely don't want to burn up those tires too early in the run. You know, the 13 and 17 could have set themselves up for the long run here, but you never know. Watching gaps again, this time gained 1/10. Nick Kensington did on the second place driver. So now that Kensington has pulled away, this has kind of allowed us to have a little bit of a break. So we're going to go ahead and look at the response from DPORL Question of the Week last week. So, yeah, long story short, I wasn't there to watch the premiere, and yeah, I didn't screenshot the poll, so I have absolutely no idea what the response was. So I guess apologies for that, but I would have said Honda, so we're just going to say Honda won the poll, even though I have absolutely no idea how you all responded. I'll definitely be watching this premiere, so don't worry about that. I promise you we'll have a normal Question of the Week response this week. And speaking of that, let's take a look at our DPORL Question of the Week for this week. This is a simple yes/no question. Would you be interested in an off-season Superspeedway series? Of course, that would consist of Daytona, Talladega. I'd probably throw in Atlanta. You know what? I'd throw in my INI for Michigan. I might even be able to do some stuff with Auto Club and maybe even some other intermediates to make them race like Superspeedways. So, would you be interested in an off-season Superspeedway series? I'd probably keep it under 10 races, maybe space it out a bit. And, you know, just respond, and, you know, I'll see if there's any interest there. So, thanks in advance for your responses. While that's been happening, while I've been asking the question of the week, you can see that the gap has come down just a little bit from the 43 to the 13. and Bianchi is all over the 13 once again. That's very, very interesting. You can see Bianchi looking to the inside as the gaps come down even more that time by. But you can see, looks like Barretto is going to be able to hang on, as Bianchi just was not able to get a good center and exit. But you really don't want to be battling right now. You want to be focused on closing in on the 43. Any kind of battling will kind of slow this group down from catching. As you can see there, that battle right there cost them about a 10th. So you really don't want to be worried about this battle between the 13 and 17 and lose sight of the leader. Of course, the leader being Nick Kensington, who has climbed the points in recent weeks for sure, but looks to take that next step, truly become one of our main championship contenders as we enter the middle portion of the year. Checking gap that time. Oh boy, it came down a bit. It's gonna get closer and closer, assuming these two don't battle and take themselves out of contention. Of course, one other driver I've told you to watch out for is Bradley Ream, who is now up to 5th position and has pulled away from the 14 of Bryce Egan, now within 4 seconds of the lead. Bradley Ream just continuing to get closer and closer. I don't know if he'll have enough time, but he's definitely on track for a great run today. Maybe he'll get by the 52 of Justin Henley. That's probably the peak, to be honest, with so few laps to go. But, you know, that's a solid run regardless. And you need those kind of runs to win the championship here. You saw the gap come down even a little bit more that last time by, and you can visibly see the gap closing. I mean, it just continues to inch closer and closer. That's another 10th and a half almost that came out of the lead that time. Looks like Bianchi got a better exit there off the corner. Watch out, you don't want to have these two battling again. And here they go, they're going to battle again. And unfortunately, that battling, well actually, luckily Bianchi backed out of it. But if that were to be a battle, I mean, that would have dragged him back again. And the focus is the leader. And the leader is right there. As Barretto had a great corner, took out almost 0.3 of a second. That is absolutely massive. And you can just see Barretto's able to get in the gas earlier, able to have a better corner in general. And here we go, the battle for the race lead between Nick Kensington and Igor Barretto. Let's see, can Kensington put on a defensive driving masterclass, or will it end up being the 13 in victory lane? Here we go, into turn number 1. Kensington with a very, very high entry. That's going to work out for the 43 this time. And now the 17 is looking on the 13 as all 3 of these drivers are here. Wow. It'll just continue to get closer and closer as now Ream within 3 seconds of the race lead. And if these 3 keep battling, watch out, because we could potentially have a 5-car battle. Bianchi to the inside of Barretto. And you can see Kensington able to pull away. As look at that, Bianchi had the better exit off the corner. That's new. Let's see what the 17 can do to the inside of Barretto. I was not expecting that. Let's see, off the corner. Not going to quite be clear, but they're going to remain side by side into turn number 1. Let's see what happens. Can Barretto get by again, or will Bianchi have the better exit? Bianchi gets the better exit, and the 17 is going to be pretty much clear into turn number 3. Yeah, we can seal it right there. Lucien Bianchi in the 17 is clear and looking to get up and fight Nick Kensington for the lead. And look at this. Oh man, Henley and Ream are flying out here. I think those two are actually going to catch this battle. That is unbelievable. I didn't think that was possible. But now it's looking very possible that those two will join in. It's getting so exciting at the front. Can't really focus on any battles around the track here. It's all up front as Kensington pulled away a little bit that time. Bianchi has to regroup and find his groove and try and get up there and make the pass for the lead. But Nick Kensington has loved what he's seen behind him, as those two going side by side has really, really hurt. Off of turn 4, we're going to hit 11 laps to go in this event. And Nick Kensington continues to lead, but that time the gap did come down. Looks like Bianchi's found his groove and will now head after the 43 once again. And there you go. You can see that the 17's just better off the corner. And I think the cars that will win this race are going to be better off the corner. You know, entry matters. Entry matters a lot. But if you can have a car that can really rotate through the middle and get on the gas early through the exit, I mean, that is huge. As Bradley Ream is now looking on Justin Henley. That's going to slow those two down a bit for sure. But back up front, once again, you can see Bianchi just flying up towards Kensington, just like Kensington was flying earlier. Here we go. We are going to have a battle, and it's going to be a good one. Can Kensington hold off Bianchi with under 10 laps to go? Under 0.2 of a second, and Barretto closing as well. Let's watch this corner exit. Looks like the 17 just slightly better off the corner this time, and is going to close all the way down the backstretch. Here's the move into 3. Lucien Bianchi in the 17. After all this race staying behind Igor Barretto and now behind Nick Kensington, is challenging for the race lead, but nothing was able to be done that time. And Bianchi's going to have a not so great entry to the corner that time, although the exit looks real good. You know, it looks like the 17's been very, very strong into 1 and 2 and off of that corner. So honestly, if he wants to make a move, he probably wants to wait till 1 and 2 to get a good run off the corner. These laps are winding down, and Nick Kensington probably really nervous as the 17 hunts him down. Let's see this corner. Oh yeah, look at that. In the gas early, getting a huge run of momentum down the backstretch, and look at that. They are side by side into turn number 3. Gonna stay side by side, but I think Kensington is probably gonna have a decent exit, and that's gonna carry. But watch this, Barretto is in the picture once again. But looks like Bianchi was able to stay side by side with Kensington. Although Kensington had the better run. And look at this, Barretto had a better run. Igor Barretto is now to second place. Watch out for the 13. Where did he come from? How about that? Igor Barretto to second position. Now going to try and hunt down Lucien Bianchi as we are going to come down to 5 laps to go. And some pretty major drama here at Nashville Superspeedway. Barretto also going to get a decent run off the corner. And now looks to the inside into turn 3. Let's see what happens here. Barretto gets his shot at the race lead. And we'll get side by side. How's the exit going to work out? Oh, beautiful, because Bianchi is all over the bumper of the 13, helping the 13. Here we go, into turn number 1. Kensington. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful entry. And that's going to allow Nick Kensington to clear once again. Just so frustrating for Barretto, who is so close to taking the race lead away. Here comes Bianchi looking outside of Barretto. But that's obviously not going to work, as we are down to just 3 laps to go. That's my fault. Here we go. Bianchi looked high. Barretto looked low. Kensington got the best exit. And look at this. Bianchi to the outside of Barretto. Oh no. Looks like Igor Barretto might not be able to challenge for this win. He got a great corner to stay ahead of Lucien Bianchi, but with just 2 laps to go, the 13 might be too far back to make a move now. So unfortunate for Barretto. As there we go, the 43 just pulling away. Not quite gonna work out today, unless the 13 can really start closing in now. We're going to come down to 1 lap to go for Nick Kensington, as Bianchi just has the better car right now. And it looks like it's going to be too little too late for Igor Barretto. 1 lap for Nick Kensington. Can he hold on and get the race victory? Barretto sent it into the corner, but just isn't going to be able to get there without a massive effort in turns 3 and 4. And it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. What a defensive driving masterclass from Nick Kensington, who's going to get his first career win on the channel. Congratulations, Nick Kensington. You are a DPORL Cup Series winner. And unfortunately for Igor Barretto, that first career win's going to have to wait. He finished his 2nd. 3rd place, Lucien Bianchi. You can see Justin Henley in 4th and Bradley Ream in 5th. Really started to close in, as now the game is getting wild. What in the world is happening there? That's a random pop-up. Wasn't a problem all race, but it happens once we took the checkered flag. Glad it happened then. Wow. What an event. That was a lot more dramatic than I thought this race would be, but the intermediates have really, really delivered in terms of racing here. Man, another great race at Nashville Superspeedway. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look through your top finishers. Let's go ahead and go to standings, and it's Nick Kensington, of course, with his first career victory. Igor Barretto with a great 2nd place run, but kind of had the lead, had the control, but Kensington had the better strategy. And that's really what worked out today. In 3rd place, there's Lucien Bianchi, who kind of stayed behind those two throughout the race. In 4th, Justin Henley. 5th, Bradley Ream. We already covered those two. Had a massive, massive effort to try and take, or at least catch, the leaders. Wow. 6th place, Bryce Egan. A great run for the 14. Nathan Ormond with a great run in 7th place. You can see Caleb Rose getting 8th place. Zach Magoon in 9th. And Brandon Rose rounding out your top 10. Logan Williams with another solid run in 11th. You can see there's Ludovic Charette, who had a great run in 12th. Dylan Matthews, solid run in 13th. Looking through for your notable finishers throughout the field, there's Angel Gutierrez in the 23rd position. Daniel Voiles, 26th. You can see Reggie Fogelman, last week's winner, finished 29th. RJ Beers, 34th. Rough day for the 19. Jack Haas, very rough day for the 95, finishes 39th place. And Aaron Abel rounds out your field in 40th. And actually, I don't want to forget to mention Caleb Holloway, I believe our points leader. Won't be our points leader with that kind of run. Wow. 38th place for Caleb Holloway. And so, with all that, get ready for another crazy race next week, because next week, oh boy, it's going to be a good one. Talladega Superspeedway. We're going to have 38 laps of hard racing from start to finish. And who knows, maybe we'll have another big one like at Michigan. So with all that being said, Another great race. I enjoyed this so much, being with you all. It's just a pleasure to bring all this action to you throughout the season. Thank you so much for watching. Congratulations to Nick Kensington on his first career win, and I will see you all next time. Let's get to the point standings. This is Drew Webb, or that DP guy, signing off.